9:15 at night, your alarm goes off, you set it yourself, nobody makes you get up for this shift anymore. You get up anyway. You drive to a distribution warehouse off the interstate outside Toledo. You badge in. The scanner beeps green. It has beeped green for you 19 years. In your pocket, your phone holds a number that quietly passed your salary last spring. Your job never came close. 42 years old, standing under warehouse lights, completely free to leave. You don't. The new kid on your line doesn't know that. Your father doesn't know that. 19 years, every double shift, every dollar you didn't spend, all of it, so one day you could walk out that door for good. Tomorrow night, you're walking back in. So what did all that money actually buy you? It started with $400. $400! You almost didn't do it. 19 years earlier, you're 23, a Sunday in July. Your father's garage behind the house smells like cut grass and gasoline. He fixes small engines on the side, lawnmowers mostly, a few chainsaws, evenings and weekends after his real job. He got you your first real job at the warehouse 2 towns over. His hearing aid whines when he leans too close to the engine. He doesn't fix it. He just leans back a little and keeps working. You've watched him do this since you were a kid on an overturned bucket. You've never once heard him complain about it. He's got a thermos of black coffee your mother made that morning, the plastic cup on top cracked down one side. You're not trying to start anything. You're just filling the quiet. When are you going to stop doing this, Dad? He doesn't look up from the carburetor. You get used to it. That's it. No follow-up, no lecture. You flex your own fingers without meaning to. They still close fine. 3 hours later, you're in a discount grocery store doing math before you reach the register. You already know your checking balance without checking it. $612. It moves a little and finds its way back. $14 an hour, $890 after taxes every 2 weeks. Rent, car payment, a credit card you're not proud of. By the time the check clears, it's already spent. The total comes out $9 over. The cashier doesn't say a word, she just waits. You quietly set 2 things back on the shelf by the register. Nobody behind you notices. You throw the bag on the passenger seat. You sit in the parking lot without starting the car. 37 more years of double shifts. 37 more years of that same question from somebody and you answering it the same way. You get used to it. Saturday morning, no alarm, you're up anyway. You search one question on your phone. How do regular people actually retire early? 2 hours later, coffee cold. The answer isn't complicated. Buy small pieces of real companies, keep buying them, don't touch it. You open an account. Your thumb hovers over one number, $400. More than half of what's sitting in your checking account. Every excuse sounds reasonable. What if the car breaks down? What if you get hurt on the floor? What if you need it next week? That's exactly what makes them dangerous. You look around your apartment. Nothing in your life has ever gotten better from waiting for the perfect week. You press confirm. 612 becomes 212. Nothing happens. No sound, no message telling you it mattered, just a smaller number where a bigger one used to sit. Monday, you're back on the warehouse floor at 10. You didn't do it because you wanted to be rich. You did it because for the first time you could actually picture where the version of you standing here ends. Your father was still in that garage that same night, leaning over a mower engine, telling nobody in particular it wasn't so bad. $25 every payday, gone before it lands for 3 straight years. You check the account on breaks, in the truck before your shift, sometimes in bed. It looks the same almost every time. 26 years old, 3 years in, it says $3,100. 2,600 of that came straight from your paycheck. 3 years of packed lunches instead of the vending machines. 3 years of not fixing the crack in your windshield. 3 years of telling yourself next month for $400. Your thumb finds the cancel button. You look at it a long time. You put the phone face down on the table. Not because you believe in what you're doing, because cancel means admitting you were foolish for starting. So you let it keep running out of stubbornness. That's the whole reason, and you know it. 27, a Wednesday, mid-shift. There's a line in the app you've never seen before. Dividend received. $11, you stare at it too long. A guy on your line, Marcus, asks what's so interesting. You just say nothing, put the phone away. $11 won't cover gas for the week, but you were asleep in your own bed when it landed. You didn't lift anything. You didn't clock in for it. $11 showed up while you were unconscious. That's the first time in your life money reached you without costing your body something first. You don't tell anyone. What would you even say? I made $11 doing nothing. 28, a cold October shift. You make a deal with yourself. 15,000. At 15,000, you'll tell your father not to brag just so he knows there's a way out that isn't waiting for a pension. It hits 15,000 the following spring. You're standing in his driveway. He's under a riding mower with just his boots showing. You open your mouth to say it. Hand me the 3/8, he says from underneath. You hand him the 3/8. You don't say the other thing. It still doesn't feel real enough to say out loud. 31, the market drops for 11 straight days. $14,000 gone on paper in under 2 weeks. More than a year of your rent, more than you've ever had saved in your life. In the break room, your supervisor is complaining about a shipment that's late. You're not listening. You're standing there with your thumb over the sell button, One tap and it stops. You don't tap it. Not because you're brave, because 10 years can't be for nothing over 11 bad days. Friday, your transfer runs anyway. It doesn't know the market dropped. It just buys what it always buys. 33, your father retires. Somebody from the plant brings a sheet cake into his garage of all places, because that's where the guys always end up anyway. He shakes maybe 9 hands. He drives home. That's the entire event. 31 years of engines on the side, and it takes 20 minutes to close it out. You follow him to the driveway. $91,000 is sitting right there in your mouth. He sets the cake on the passenger seat carefully so it won't slide. Your mother's making a roast on Sunday. You tell him you'll be there. You watch him pull out. It still feels like luck more than a plan. $100,000, you'll tell him at $100,000. 38, $290,000. Sunday, your mother's kitchen. There's a sandwich on the counter wrapped in foil for a man who technically doesn't have anywhere to be on a weekday anymore. She still makes it out of habit. Your father reaches for his water glass. His hand shakes slightly now. A small tremor that started a couple years back. He gets the glass to his mouth anyway. He's telling a story about a neighbor's riding mower he fixed for free last week. He's already laughing before he gets to the end of it. He always does that. You have $290,000. You say nothing. It's too large a thing to explain across a kitchen table right now. 42. A Thursday. Nothing unusual about the shift. You've had a spreadsheet running for a couple years now, 2 columns. What the warehouse pays you against what the account pays you, watching the gap close a little more every quarter. You've thought about finally telling your father. He's 71. You haven't run out of Sundays yet. 11 at night, kitchen table. You open the spreadsheet just to check something about your car insurance. It opens where it always opens. 2 columns, what the warehouse paid you this year. 58,000, what the account paid you this year. 63,400, you read it once, you click into the cell to check the formula. You type the number out yourself by hand, like a man who doesn't trust a machine with something like this. Same number, you sit back, nothing happens, no sound telling you that mattered. 19 years ago, you pressed confirm on $400 and felt nothing. You just did it again, at a much bigger number, and felt exactly as little. You get up, you open the fridge. You stand there in the light with the door open, not hungry, just not sure what else to do with your hands. You say it out loud to the empty kitchen. Dad. That's the only word that comes out. The kitchen doesn't answer. 19 years, every double shift. Every dollar you didn't spend. All of it so you'd never have to set that alarm on purpose again. And that night, for the first time in your life, you didn't have to. Sunday, you practice it out loud in the car on the way over. Dad, I need to tell you something. 20 minutes of rehearsing and you still don't have the sentence right by the time you pull in. The garage door is up. He's at the workbench with a snowblower on it that isn't yours and isn't his. It belongs to the widow 2 houses down. Her son lives out of state. He's 71 years old, doing it for free on a Sunday afternoon, hearing aid whining every time he leans in close. Pot roast. Your mother's talking about somebody's granddaughter's wedding. You're not really listening. You're waiting for a gap in the conversation. Your father mentions something about Tuesday. You ask what's Tuesday. Your mother says he still drives out to see the guys from the plant on Tuesdays. Coffee at the diner by the old gate. She says it like you'd ask what color the sky is. 9 years retired. Still goes in every single Tuesday. Nobody pays him to be there. Nobody needs him there. He goes because it's Tuesday. You look at him across the table. 31 years of engines after his real shift ended. A tremor in his hand that never used to be there. And when the world finally let him stop working entirely, he found a reason to keep showing up somewhere anyway. The sentence you rehearsed on the drive over was, "Dad, there's a way out of all this." He's laughing at his own story before he even finishes it. He always does that. A way out of what, exactly? You don't say it, not because you're scared, because you're starting to understand the sentence itself is wrong. Your mother catches you in the hallway with a container of leftover roast wrapped in foil. She holds it against your chest until you take it. "You look tired," she says. You tell her work's been a lot. That's not false. It's not the whole truth either. You drive home with the roast on the passenger seat. Same spot your father set that sheet cake down years ago. 19 years, every double shift, every dollar you didn't spend. All of it to get free of that warehouse. He never actually wanted to be free of his. You get home a little after 9. You put the roast in the fridge. You set your alarm for 9:15 Monday. 9:15, the alarm goes off. You turn it off. You lie there a while. You called off last night for the first time in 19 years. Your supervisor asked if you were feeling okay. You said you were fine. There was a pause on the line. Then he just said, "Take the night." Your body doesn't know what a Monday off feels like anymore. $340,000 and an entire empty day. You get in your car. There's a diner on Front Street you've driven past for 19 years and never once walked into. You go in. You sit alone in a booth. Eggs, toast, coffee, $6 and change. You eat it in about 10 minutes flat because that's how fast you've always eaten. It's 8 in the morning. The whole day is still sitting there in front of you. You sit in the parking lot trying to think of one thing you actually want to do with it. You made a list once, back at 23, in your head. It had one item on it: get free of the warehouse. There was never a second line written under it. You never thought you'd get far enough to need one. It's Tuesday tomorrow. Your father will be at the diner by the old plant gate. Same as always. 20 minutes from where you're sitting right now. You could just go. You'd have to explain why you're not on shift. You don't have the sentence for that either. Noon, your own kitchen. You open the fridge. You stand there again, not hungry. The roast is still sitting in the foil. You eat it standing up straight out of the container. Noon on a Monday. $340,000. Your mother made this. 2 in the afternoon. The day still isn't half over. You've run out of things to try. Tuesday, you take the exit off the highway instead of driving past it. His truck is in the lot. Same spot. Third from the door, same as it's been for years. You haven't set foot in that diner in over a decade. Same cracked vinyl booths. Same burnt coffee smell. 6 older men around one table with nowhere else they need to be at this hour. Your father sees you first. His whole face changes. "Look who decided to show up," he says to the table. Not really to you. He's introducing you. They already know exactly who you are. He does it anyway. You sit for almost an hour. They talk about a job from 1998. Somebody's replaced Hip, the Browns. Nobody asks you a single question about your own life. It's the best hour you've had all year. You're refilling your coffee when one of them walks over. Sal, mid-70s, hands that look just like your father's. He talks about you before you say anything. Says you were the best hand your father ever trained on those engines growing up. Then he tops off his own coffee and walks back to the table like it was nothing. Your father has never once said that directly to you. 19 years, and you're standing in a diner parking lot with your father's keys jingling in his hand. Dad. Yeah. 19 years looking for this sentence, and it still comes out sideways. I've got money. He waits. $340,000. The parking lot stays quiet. A truck rolls by on Front Street. In what he asks, report stocks, funds, mostly stuff I started buying when I was 23. He looks back toward the diner, then back at you. You doing okay? He asks. That's his first question. Not how much. Not how'd you do it. Just, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He nods, shifts his keys to his other hand. What are you going to do with it then? You don't have an answer ready. 19 years, and the only real question is the one you never actually asked yourself. I don't know yet. He nods again, like that's a completely reasonable place to be. Like maybe it actually is. You stand there a second, 42 years old, still half waiting for him to say 4 specific words you've imagined hearing for as long as you can remember. He opens his truck door instead. Sunday, your mother's doing another roast, he says. Then he drives off. You're left standing in a diner parking lot holding an invitation to dinner. He never once said he was proud of you. He didn't need to. He'd already been saying it to Sal once a month, for years without you in the room to hear it. 19 years, every double shift, every dollar you didn't spend, all of it to walk away from that warehouse for good. The only thing your father ever actually bragged about was the man who used to sit on a bucket in his garage asking him when he'd quit. Sunday, pot roast. You ask him about the job from 98. He tells the whole thing again, laughing before the end, same as always. You already know how it ends. You laugh anyway. Monday, 9:15. The alarm goes off. You turn it off before it wakes anyone else in the house. There's a roll of foil in your own kitchen drawer. You don't remember buying it. You make a sandwich. You wrap it the same way your mother always has. The warehouse lot. The sun isn't up yet. You badge in. The scanner beeps green. You're standing near the dock with a kid who just started, maybe 23, waiting on a delivery truck to back in. When are you going to quit doing this? He asks, half joking. You don't look up from your clipboard. You get used to it. He looks down at his own hands for a second like he just heard a warning. Someday he might realize it wasn't one. $340,000 bought exactly one thing. It didn't buy the exit. It bought the choice of whether to badge in at all. Your father figured that part out decades before you did. It just took you 19 years to catch up to what he already knew. You finish your coffee. You fold the foil from your sandwich and put it back in your pocket. You badge in. The scanner beeps green, same as it always has, except now it's a sound you chose instead of one you owed. There's another shift starting in 10 minutes.